Hey yo! Welcome to the wonderful world of HungryHeath. And Shelly eats steak. And Delilah's over there laying down for some reason. She don't want to be with us. Me and agnostic today. Obstinate, really is a better word, I'm sorry. So, I got good news and bad news. Good news is, there is nothing wrong.
What?
There's no new ailments. So I have no news per se to give y'all, other than that. The bad news is, there's nothing to tell you. I mean, it's just good. I'm feeling great. I'm doing really good with my DDPY.
What week are you on?
Oh, don't get me to lying. I don't do.
I think it's like week 4 of the beginner of the DDPY course. So what I think is pretty amazing, like sometimes, tell me if you're the same way. Like me, when I start something out like a program and they'll tell you, oh, this is like 8 to 10 weeks or this is 14 weeks. I'm like, gosh, it seems so long. Like, oh, it's going to take forever. Like when I first started my cut and she was like, oh, it's a 12-week cut. I'm like, gosh, it's going to take so long. 12 weeks. This is the 3rd program. Each program in DDPY is 14 weeks.
Yeah.
So that means you've already done 28 weeks, plus you're on week 4, so you're starting week 4.
Yeah, his weeks start, the first day of the week for his program is on Sundays.
Well, it depends on when you started, actually.
Well, that's according to the map I'm looking at right now, the calendar. And when we're through recording this, I'm going to watch his week 4 guide to start my week. So.
Yeah, and we'll do one of the exercises too.
Yeah.
Surprise. But so when you think about that, that's 32 weeks. And when you think of like that as one big number, that's like you're like, ooh, 32 weeks, that's almost 6 months.
Yeah.
But look, if doing it like that, where you're just taking it week by week, it goes by so fast. And looking back, does it seem like it's been 32 weeks since you started? No,
just yesterday we started.
Yeah.
And what's really odd to me is kind of messing my head a little bit, just throwing me off, because it feels like the workout I'm doing now is actually easier than when I was first starting. I guess because the condition I'm in and everything. Mm-hmm. And it seems like he's working in more days off. Because before I'd only have 2 or 3 days off. Now I'm working in, he's giving me 3 or 4 days off during the week.
Well, but he also tends to do that at the beginning so that you don't overdo yourself. Because are you someone that like me, if I go in and I start something, I go full force.
Yeah.
And I've learned as I've gotten older and I'm hopefully wiser that you don't, even though you have that desire to, I'm going to hit the gym every day or I'm going to do this every single day.
Overkill.
Yeah, you overkill and then you burn out really quick. So I've learned over time, it's like, well, I really want to do it, but if I do it like 3 or 4 times a week, I'll go at it with a high energy, but it'll end up being more sustainable so that then after a month or so of doing it, I've built up that habit then, and then I keep doing it because I didn't over exhaust myself at the beginning.
Right.
And sometimes I see that happen a lot is somebody will get into something and they just go overboard instead of like kind of slowly building into it to where you really start forming that habit and that routine. Because that's what you really need, is developing a routine that's going to get you through it.
Right. And another thing I kind of slipped on this week is I didn't take all the photos or the videos of all of our food, what we ate, like I've been trying to do for y'all. Because we've just been so busy with the house, trying to get everything ready. And Friday, they delivered the flooring. And it's got to sit in the house for 6 to 7 days, they said, to let it get acclimated to what we had the house set at. Well, actually, they told us to set the AC at 73 and leave it constant for the next week to make sure the new flooring acclimates to that. Because if not, because it's the snap lock, tongue and groove flooring. And if you put it in now, it'll start bowing. It'll swell from all the moisture and humidity and everything. It'll start swelling, and that'll just mess up the whole floor. So we have to let it get acclimated before we start installing it.
Yeah.
If you'll notice, we're still at the hotel, but we're hoping within the next month we'll be back home full time.
Well, they're saying 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The insurance gave us a 2-week notice.
But they can give us 2 longer if need be.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm optimistic that everything's going to go smooth.
We were on the phone with them for like 4 hours on Friday.
Yeah.
And finally they extended it 2 more weeks, but I really think that's going to be the limit. And really, if you think about it,
it should be. It
should be, because if the flooring goes in a week, then that's it. We're done.
I should only take them 2 or 3 days to actually install it, though.
Well, right.
The hardest, I think, it's going to actually take them more time to move our furniture out of the way.
Yeah.
That'll be a bigger job than actually installing the floor.
Yeah. That's a lot to go through.
And in the meantime, in the evenings and weekends, her and I got to get in there and
paint.
So
yeah,
that's gonna be fun. I got to go this week and start picking up all the paint and bringing it to the house. So there's my workout right there, because them 5-gallon buckets ain't fun to carry. So.
But otherwise, you've been feeling
fantastic.
Really good, fantastic.
Yeah. I'm still eating 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
And I think that's really helped me also.
Yeah.
I haven't weighed in probably since last week, I guess it was, and I'd actually gained 3 pounds, I think. But
no, I thought it was 0.6.
Well, whatever.
It was 0.6, y'all.
That's still a gain. A gain's a gain.
But
y'all can see how closely I tracked that.
Right. And again, what's 0.6? Because technically, I gained 3 pounds this past week, which I kind of figured, because when we were in Rockport visiting our wonderful friend and HungryHeath member, our groupie, Renee, I was like, I did have like a glass of wine, and I wasn't like as strict as far as, asking the restaurants, well, make sure you don't use this. Is there this and this? Is there this? And it was just kind of like, okay, I just ordered and took deep breaths and tried to like relax and not be so type A like I can be. And so I figured, okay, 3 pounds, that is probably just water weight from, the glass of wine, because I can't remember the last time I had wine, but it was really good. And, just doing that, I'm like, I'm not stressing over it, because even though technically I gained 3 pounds, which is the same weight, it was actually still lower than when I started my reverse in, which is what my coach wants. She says, in a reverse, every week you're going up and eating more and more and more. Your weight should be more than what you started the reverse in, which is what I did in my cut in. And it's still under what I started my reverse in. But what's most important is I dropped another 2 inches, y'all. Another inch off my waist and gut. So I'll take that any day. If I gain a little pounds per se, but I'm still dropping inches, that's a win. That's what I want. Yeah. Maybe I could be the skinniest, heaviest person. Right? So, but I mean, you've been doing really well. Yeah. You've been feeling very well. I don't think you've been getting as tired lately.
I don't know about that, but yeah. Well, like the other day I went to the store, I still had a little bit of trouble seeing. It just comes and goes. I don't know why, but sometimes it feels like there's a haze over me when I'm trying to walk around the store or up and doing stuff. It depends, I think, really on how active I get or how inactive I've been.
Oh.
Like, I need to keep everything on an even keel, and to me to feel right.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm still learning. This is all new to me, and it's wild too because I have no reference to go by, because when we first started researching this and talking to the doctors and everything, they said that no 2 cases are the same. Every single body that suffers with MS is completely different. So the only thing you can do is basically figure out what works for you. And
trial and error.
Good luck, new fish.
Right.
Sink or swim.
Well, what I always thought was interesting, though, is a couple of the people that you talk to that have MS or have had it for a long time, when you mentioned your diet, they were like, oh, no one's ever talked to me about that. I've never. And then the one guy was like, yeah, I noticed on the weekends when I have steak and eggs for breakfast, I have a lot of energy that day. It's like they never put the two together.
Right.
And I don't know. I still, maybe it's just still wishful thinking, but I still think that eating keto, carnivore has helped you tremendously.
And I think some coming from the basis into this has helped me also.
Right.
And then talking to Dr. Berry that one time.
Yeah, and then the fact that, I mean, his MRI, he didn't have any new lesions.
Yes.
That's, to me, is a really good sign.
Yeah.
If there's no more new lesions, that, you know, if anything, his eating lifestyle is preventing it from worsening.
Right.
So
now that I know what foods to avoid, more so now, after that second flare-up.
Yeah. So it does help.
It's all just trial and error.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much true with everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
No matter what you're going
Yeah,
through.
even on keto, it's trial and error. Everybody does keto a little different. You do what works for you, what you feel the best on. I don't base my keto lifestyle on how much weight or how much I'm losing. I base it on how good I feel. And
Right.
for me, not having the veggies, like, because I could have truly ate veg last weekend, like, you know, did like more like carby vegetables and stuff. It just doesn't appeal to me, and I just honestly feel better when I have mostly protein and high fat.
It's just amazing to me because I remember back in the day how much you used to love vegetables.
I know.
You used to make sure we had plenty of them.
I know.
Even some of the ones I didn't even like, you would make sure you made them at least.
Yeah.
But now it's like heaven. And it's weird because now when we have a new fight, is I want to eat more vegetables. Because like when we went to the Mexican joint, I ended up eating all the onions off the fajitas, and you like totally turned your nose at them like they were poison or something. But they were so sweet.
Yeah.
Because they were grilled white onions.
Well, I think my main thing is, like, right now I'm eating so much food, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on my reverse, because I think this is week 8 of my reverse, I'm just eating so much food that it's like I don't want to. It's already enough for me to get the protein, because it's like 168 grams of protein I have to get a day.
Yeah, why complicated?
Well, no, not complicated. That's a lot of protein. Like, if you look, some of y'all probably eating 80 or 90. I'm eating 168.
Wow.
So to get that much protein in a day, that's a lot of food to eat. Like, I'm like, you know, I always try to pre-track at least a day or two before, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get in another 30 grams of protein? What am I going to eat? And it's like, oh gosh, it's like such a large serving, but then I feel so good. Like I don't have, what was funny is, so yesterday I went and got my hair done. So if you notice, it's supposed to look like kind of like a flame, y'all, like fire, where it's that dark red, bright red, and then it goes to like a lighter red. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera. But anyways, I got my hair done. And my hairdresser was telling me, she was like, oh my gosh, I just went and ate lunch. And she goes, I had a sandwich. She goes, oh, I just want to go to sleep. I'm just so tired. She just kept going on about how tired she was. And I was thinking, yeah, I don't get that.
We used to get that all the time.
Oh, yeah, we used to take naps all the time after we ate. But now,
we call them food comas.
Yeah. But now, like, we'll eat a big dinner, and it's like I'm energized. I'm ready to go some more. And, okay, let's go do this. Let's do the DDPY. Let's take Delilah on a long walk.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
she takes you on one.
Well, yeah. But, you know, but that's like the difference, right? Have y'all experienced that too? That now that you're not having carb-laden meals, you actually have energy afterwards, instead of that, like, oh, I want to go to sleep. It's so hard to keep my eyes open. And she literally was having a hard time. She's like, oh my gosh. And I was like, she left the bread off. But I didn't say that. I'm not somebody to just go out and, I feel, I feel bad even, you know, like, I don't feel like I'm anybody to tell anyone how they should eat or what they should eat. If somebody asks me, sure. And like, we got to talking and I was telling her how, you know, Heath had lost so much weight. And she's like, oh, really? And I showed her a picture and she's like, wow. She goes, and how? And I said, you know, basically he does very low carb keto where he's mostly just eating meat, no carb foods. And she was like, oh, wow. You know, and so I do it that way where it's, when we're doing this, not you should do this and you need to do this and that's what you're doing wrong. That to me is just not the right approach. Most people aren't open. But a lot of times if you just come at it as, well, this is what we've been doing that's given us success, then people are like, oh, well, if they've had success, maybe it would work for me.
Right, right.
I mean, that's my thought process. Because if somebody, you know, people tell me stuff before, like doctors who have said stuff, oh, you need to lose weight. I'm like, okay, good. That's easy for you to say.
Yeah,
right? But, and I guess, let's see, update on Delilah. She's been doing pretty good. She's been using her leg more and more. As you can see, she's Miss Hyper. She's ready for her afternoon walk, right?
Right.
We do a morning walk, an afternoon walk, and then an evening walk. Don't we, girl? Yeah.
I think she misses our yard.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we just turn her loose in the backyard. Our house is a big backyard. She'd run around in circles.
Well, and then also what she liked is when the, you know, the afternoon sun's there.
Yeah.
She loves to sunbathe. She just lay out on her back and just sunbathe out there. And now she doesn't get that as much. But pretty soon, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess that's really it, right?
Yeah. Now we're going to show them our food, the few shots I did take. Let's cut to that now.
Yum.
Tuesday's lunch is a couple of thin grilled pork chops. My Wednesday night dinner is an air fryer rainbow trout and some cast iron skillet sauteed Gulf shrimp. So good. So good. Thursday night dinner is a couple of blue cheese burgers topped with cheese and a couple of atomic buffalo turds on the side.
Yummy. That was some good food we had last week.
Yeah. I'm getting hungry just thinking about them now.
And some of those are going to be videos.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, I guess this is it. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. And like I said, we'll see y'all next week.
Comment below. Tell us hi. Let us know what's going on with you. How are you doing?
Yeah. What'd she say? I think it's time for a nap.
No. Time for a workout.
All right.
Bye.